Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today for our Dao De Jing study. Today we're still going to study together Dao De Jing chapter 3. Last class we covered the first third, pretty much just the first paragraph in did I say chapter 3? I mean chapter 4, Dao De Jing chapter 4. We talked about 道冲而用之，或不盈，渊兮似万物之宗。In Thomas Clary's translation, he translated this sentence as the way is unimpeded harmony. Its potential may never be fully exploited. It's as deep as the source of all things. And then the second section goes like this. It blunts the edges, resolves the complications, harmonizes the light, assimilates to the world. Profoundly still, it seems to be there. I don't know whose child it is before the creation of images. So that's the rest of the Dao De Jing chapter 4. Some people have said that the after is as deep as the source of all things, where the part it blunts the edges, resolves the complications, harmonizes the light, assimilates to the world. In Chinese, it's 错其锐，解其分，和其光，同其尘。This section also showed up in Dao De Jing chapter 56. So some people think that this is probably during the 2,500 years that Dao De Jing was passed down one generation through to another. And in old times, there's no the modern printing technology. So people, to copy a book, you have to write it by hand. And then in old times there's before paper, people write things on like bamboo strips and then tie the bamboo strips together. So it's possible that maybe a bamboo strip got broken and things got mixed up. And this section, since it's the same as 56, people think that this is probably should belong in chapter 56. And then here, it feels like it's connected better if it says, because it's talk about what the Tao, also about the Tao being this never full. It's the source of all things. And then it connects to profoundly still, it seems to be there, talking about the nature of Tao, and then talk about I don't know whose child it is before the creation of images. It seems to connect well because it's talk about, at the beginning it talk about the Tao is the source of all things, and then it says I don't know whose child it is. That connects very well together, in my opinion, because if it's the source of all things, then can it have another source? So whose child it is? It's that it just means where does it come from? If it has a place or a source that this comes from, then it cannot be called a source of all things. Right? And then you talk about before the creation of images. And image, this Thomas Clary translates as image. In Chinese, this word is 相地. 相can be image, or you can say it can translate as appearance or a form. So it's before the creation of all the appearances, all the forms. That makes sense, because if it's the source of all things, then it's where all those all the beingness, and then forms, what have forms has appearance, all the beingness, no matter what form, what quality, what character it has, it comes from this one source. So this source should be certainly before all of the forms. And so it's however, I want to mention that when we, for example, when I think about something is before something else, our habitual mind is thinking this in term of time. It's like, okay, this happened and then became this happened. However, think about that. If something is the source of you, of whatever you see, whatever, everything in this universe, all beingness, if something is the source of it, can you be separate? Can it be this happened and then this happens? Can these two be ever separate? If it can be separate, if there's no connection between these, then would the source still be the source of whatever it derive? So it is before the creation of images, but it's also in the same time, it's always together. We are always together with our source, and then we go. So when things happen, when appearance happens, it happened, but it's not separate from the source. And then that makes sense when it let's say disappears. Where does it go? It go back to source. Like we talked about last week, if it's a source, then that's can be the only place. Things comes and things disappears too. It cannot be two places. That's why it says here, profoundly still, it seems to be there. I really like the this phrase. For one is profoundly. We'll talk about profoundly. It's this deep. It's this something that's that seems like has this space, hold the space for everything. And then you see it seems to be there. So it's not like a anything like appearance, like we talk about image. It's very clearly, you can see it, you know it's there. However, it's not the opposite of non-existence. It's not there. So it's something that it seems to be there. So it's a lot of times, like the Taoist meditation and Taoist spiritual practice, it focuses on, often it tells you when we call it Ning Shen, you can talk about your spirit or your energy deeper than feeling like than your body. When that's focused, what it is, it's this 不离不弃. It's usually a teacher, a guru will tell you this and ask you to go home and feel it for yourself. It's you're neither very attached with something. However, you're also not trying to push it away. So it's this kind of an in-between stage. That's where that the Ningshen happens. And that's the important stage, which makes sense. I mean, Yu and Wu, we talk about beingness and nothingness. It's one of the same. So think about, then you focus on one way or focus on the other way. That's not balanced. It's not complete. So what it make it complete? It's somewhere in the middle, as to say, in the middle. It's like it's neither here nor here, but it's also both here and here. So if you would like, go home when you meditate, remember this and see if you what does it feel to you. So like we said, so basically if you take out the middle part, the first third and the last third seems to be connect very well together. It's talking about Dao being the source. And so when I was reading this, I was reading this middle part again and again. It was like, what is this part trying to say? And for me, I think this part is talking about, rather than what Tao is, was more kind of like how Tao operates, how Tao behaves, how Tao do things, so to say. For example, so we're a little switch the order. So we talk about the last third. Now we're back to talk about the middle. 错其锐，解其分，和其光，同其尘。So the first 错其锐，错 in Chinese means break, means damage something, means grind. 锐 means sharpness. As a noun, sharpness, as adjective is sharp. It could also mean something to be sharp. Usually has like we talk about sharp point. So point, and then it's the point. Generally, you can call it like a corner, a sharp corner. So 错其锐, I guess you can translate as, for example, Thomas Clary has it blunts the edges. So it's like unsharpen the edge, unsharpen the corners. So I have something here for you. I hope it's big enough. I'm going to move to closer. So think about all the shapes. Like triangle is a very basic shape, and you can see that these corners that seems pretty sharp, right? And you can certainly change the shape, make the corner, the edge even more. If the angle gets smaller, because even more sharp. So it's got certainly corners, sharp corners. And then you can have like another simple shape is square. Okay, so compared to a triangle, maybe this corner you can say it's a less sharp. However, compare if you have a shape, for example, octagon. So this is still probably a relatively sharp a corner. And for example, even octagon, and then you can even have unlimited number of edges, and no matter what, you can still see there is corner, right? So think about it. What's this one shape of all the self-containing shapes, enclosed shapes that has no point, no corner? I'm sure you all have figured it out. It's a circle, or you can say like maybe oval. Oval is kind of like a stretch out circle. The same idea. It has no sharp corner, right? And I mean, we'll talk about for 2-dimensional. This is a circle. So for 3-dimensional shapes, you can say a ball. It's all rounded as no corner. To me, I find that circle has some very interesting magical qualities. For example, like one is that you can move along a circle, with a constant speed. However, think about if you do any other shape, you have a triangle. To move along the triangle, right? You move, and then here you will have to come to a stop. And then you have to change direction, move, and in each corner, you will have to come to a stop. Even, for example, one has a little more blunt corners, and here you will still has to come to a stop before you can change direction. This circle is one that you could have a move along the circle in a like one consistent smooth speed. You can do slow, but you can also do it very, very fast with one speed. This brings to the next interesting, I found the quality of circle. For example, I have here a glass of water, right? So what happened, by the way, this is a chopstick. Chopstick is very useful. I mean, I might be biased since I'm Chinese, but I use this a lot for not just cooking and eating. For example, here. Okay, so for example, if I draw a triangle in the water, nothing much is happening, right? I can draw a square. I mean, nothing much is happening. And see what happens when I do circle, move in a circle motion. You can see that I created this vortex. And probably I'll show it even better to see how, if I put some of these are beater needle tea. These are they come up, they show up as, when they're dry, they're this needle shaped. And when you put them in water, it expands out. And my husband drinks this beater needle tea for his high blood pressure, because his high blood pressure type is the young access type. So Dr. Wu recommended this beater needle tea for him to drink. This is good for cooling the body. So I'm just putting it in to demonstrate. I'll just use whatever I found. Okay, so now you can see these tea leaves in the water. They're just move about their own ways. Okay, so now I'm going to do the circle. I don't know if you can see pretty clearly. What happens is all these leaves, they're moving with this direction. They're moving with together, almost like moving as one. Moving as one for our qi, the law of one. If somebody have read that book, it's the law of one is one of the basic laws of Tao, of nature. And for our body to be able to, for our qi to be able to move as one is very important. And imagine that, like, for example, if you want to go from here to there, and if your legs move that way and your body is still over here, then we have a big problem, right? So we have to do things, we have to move our body as one. And same thing goes with the qi in our body. The more that all the qi can be moving as one, and the you can say the healthier, the stronger our body is. it also explains, like if you practice Tai Chi, you will know that all Tai Chi moves, they're all this like circular movement. And the Tai Chi even have this hold the ball, the positions like holding, as if you imagine there is a ball, you're holding this ball, and there's all movement are, movements are smooth, and then the circular motion. Why you think about why Tai Chi has been passed down in China for hundreds of years, and these days, one research survey found they're saying that there are over 250 million people in the world are practicing Tai Chi, and a lot of people enjoy the benefit of Tai Chi. Why these simple, slow movement? Why is it so good for our body? One of the reasons is that Chinese have a saying, 以形引气. 形 means the outside form. You can consider the movement. 引气, it helps lead the qi inside your body. So when you do this circular movement, it helps for your qi in your body to help to move in these kind of a circular motion, which, as I said, is very important for anyone's health. For example, let's see the next part. It says 解其分. 解 in Chinese is there's a 解 together often with another character 解决. It means solve. It's solve 其分, solve or resolve. 分 means like something is a mess, complications. Can be something that's no order. One goes this way, one goes the other way, and it's all tangled. It's called fen. So Dao we're thinking about it can solve 解其分, solve this, clear out this mess, which also happened. You think about what we were just showing about the circular motion creates this all moving as one. So when everything clears, all moving as one, there's no mess, there's no this moving everywhere messiness. When our qi moves all as one, we have a better command of our body. All of our body parts will be to get the nutrients and get the qi that needs. So hope your qi will be moving in the circular motion. It's like staying in the vortex. It's just, I don't know if you've read, some people of you know about Abraham Hicks. Is Abraham is this high dimensional intelligence, and he talks through Hicks, who's a lady, and they talk about the law of attraction being one of the basic laws in the universe. And he also talk about staying in the vortex. The vortex is where it assembles all the cooperative relationships. So when you stay in the vortex, law of attraction will work for your favor. So sorry, I digressed a little. Let's come back to Dao De Jing. After 解其分, it talk about 和其光. 和 like 和谐 means harmony, and as verb it means harmonize. Harmonize 光 is light, so it harmonizes the light. I have a little experiment for you to try. So if you're ready, close your eyes. Okay, imagine a circle. Imagine doing a circle. Center, the circle can be, you can do it around your belly or around your chest, or even bigger. You imagine the circle goes around your whole body, whatever you feel comfortable with. Different people are different. And then have the circle, as long as the center of the circle aligns with the center line of your body. So has it, just close your eyes, just imagine that circle going around and around. Okay, you can open your eyes. So tell me what the color or what the circle looks like. It's light, isn't it? When I close my eyes, when I do this, I feel it's this circle made of light. And which makes sense. Our bodies are light bodies. I mean, even this, it look like physical. It's just, it's also made of light. So 和其光. So when you do this circular motion, like it says, it gets all of your qi move in this as one, and then it harmonizes the internal light within you. And this is a very good meditation. You could do it, try it at home, and if it just feels good to you, then maybe you want to add it to your meditation routine. Do it sometimes every now and then. You could do it. It doesn't have to be. Let me say it this way: you can do it anywhere. For example, it's good to, sometimes it's very good to do. I found I really like to do it when I'm lying in bed at night, and I just do this. It's very relaxing for me, and usually I try to do like 108 times one way and then 108 times the other way, but usually I couldn't even finish the first 108 times. I was already fast asleep. So this is very relaxing also, especially if you're having a little trouble going to sleep, try this method. Also, you can do it anywhere. For example, if you are on a bus or on a train, or you're just kind of waiting in an office for appointment, and anytime you have a few minutes to yourself, you can just do this exercise. Over the long run, you will really feel the benefit. One interesting fact is that once I was my nose was very stuffed up. I was lying in bed at night and I was like, what do I do? I was half asleep. So my habit was just doing the circle. So I started to imagining a circle around my nose, going around and around, and very quickly my nose cleared it up. So I was able to go to sleep. So that was worked well for me for that time. Okay, the last one is 同其尘. 同, this Chinese word 同 means the same. Thomas Cleary translates assimilate. So same or make something the same. 同其尘. Chen means like the dust. Think about when we talk about dust, oftentimes there are these little particles that's floating, for example, maybe floating in the air, and that's just again talk about it. Each particle seems to kind of have their own movement, and it's not. You can see they're teeny little fragment, and oftentimes what happened is like when we're not feeling well, or our qi isn't as strong, oftentimes we'll have a little fragment of qi that's becoming not part of the whole body qi movement system. So you can consider they're like the little dust. And a little bit is fun. And also it's like a tornado. Think about a vortex. When we do this circular motion in our body, with the qi is strong, what happens? What happens when you have a strong tornado? Things around it got sucked in, started to move with it as one, right? And these little fragments, your qi is strong, they come out and then they got sucked back in. They're fun again. They're be part of the one again. However, oftentimes that if you are not taking care of your body and then becoming more and more coming out, and then your qi getting weaker, and then it may not having the same kind of a suction that you're able to assimilate all the qi. In those times, what you could also do is that meditation. And then imagining all your qi are together, and the stronger, more these dust gets sucked in, becoming the same, becoming the part of the light, the stronger, the more can come in, and then you becoming this whole harmonized, this one qi that just moves very, very freely, very, very, it's just no obstacles in your body. There'll be no blockage in your body. Okay, time is up for us. So this is what we have for Dao De Jing chapter 4. I hope you enjoy it. It's what I do is to share with you when I read the Dao De Jing, share with you from my own experience how I interpreted the Dao De Jing, and you take whatever makes sense to you. And everybody, like I said, everybody have Dao De Jing is different for everybody. It's good for us to hear what other people think, because sometimes that's how we can, they're like, oh, this makes sense. Okay, I think this way, but I just haven't really been clear in the front yet. And so leave what you think, keep what you think makes sense. And if anything that doesn't make sense to you, then maybe it's just not the right for you. And be trusting your instinct and read your own Dao De Jing. So next week we'll start chapter 5. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Take care.